10D, discussion regarding civility among members of the commission during agenda items. This is requested by Commissioner Alvin Villalobos, and I did not mean any disrespect. Commissioner Villalobos, the floor is yours.
None taken. Jim, can you go ahead and play that video provided?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with charity. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the charities in which we're selecting or going to be selected. Sound bites are lovely. My point, excuse me? I am a monster, thank you. So my point is not about the charity.
I'm going to have you replay the video, and if you can just pause it every, just a little slower.
You can start the clock for me. Basically, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with charity. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the charities in which we're selecting or going to be selected.
So my observation from this video, and it was brought forward by a resident, and then slightly hearing it after the mayor repeated herself when she said that I know I'm a monster, and brushed it off. In this clip here, we see the vice mayor already looking at Commissioner Bolton, displaying something's about to happen. Can you go ahead and play it?
Sound bites are lovely. My point.
Can you stop it for a second? So at this point, Commissioner Placco has heard what Commissioner Bolton has said, and apparently no one stopped it, including myself. You know, we have sound barrier walls here, so you can barely even hear it. So my point of this is the behavior, the civility part of it. If we're going to keep to the civility code, let's stick to it. We keep going over the same stuff over and again. So I would really ask that we know the behavior is unacceptable. Calling a woman a monster, calling a commissioner a monster, going after a city staff member is unacceptable. We are public servants, and it's unacceptable for the public to be hearing such things. So again, I'm going to request that we keep, I think Armando said it perfectly when he went up to the podium, to keep the civility, keep it professional, keep it very simple. Let's stick to the items on hand. Let's focus on the residents and not attack each other, etc. If anybody wants to comment on it, fine, but really, this is what it's about.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, for your, Commissioner Villalobos, for your comments. I'm going to ask you a question. Is there an item that you are asking us to discuss, or are you just sharing your opinion about something that happened at the last
I would like for us to agree to stick to professionalism, keep to the code of civility and appropriate conduct while we're on this commission. So if we can just have consensus at this point to stick to it.
Commissioner Bolton, do we have consensus for that?
Mayor, I like to have a little bit of discussion before we go to voting or giving consensus on.
All right, well, your light was not yet lit, so if you wish to speak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the video does not hear me call you a monster, but in fact, I did. And to the extent that hurt Commissioner Villalobos, I'm deeply sorry about that. We were just talking about homelessness, which was very hurtful for me, and it was not a soundbite. It was not something that I just wanted to talk about simply because. It was because I went through a whole lot in my past, and I shouldn't have. called you a monster. That is not the type of person that I am, and it's not the type of person that I want my community to see me as. They do look up to me and respect me, and I would like to apologize. So to the extent that it hurt any member of the community or yourself or any of my colleagues, I do apologize for that. It is also hurtful that I endure the same type of treatment, but it's never publicized, it's never brought up in a fashion like this. And the narrative always seem like, I'm the bad guy. And that's not necessarily the case. I'm not making a case for who the bad guy is or not. I'm just saying civility needs to be across the board, not just on the dais. I'll give you an example. A couple of days ago, a resident asked me a question or had me to do some research about an issue in her community. It was not my community, but it was the commissioner's community, Commissioner Villalobos. And I emailed staff, contacted staff about it, and the commissioner said to me, he does not want to get any emails from me. And that was city business. That's not civility. You can have your personal feelings about me. Commissioner Villalobos was a person that I prayed with on many occasions. He was a good friend. I was a good friend. I don't know where that went. It doesn't matter where that went. But if we're going to carry on the business of the city, civility is not just on the dais. It is all around this building. So again, I sincerely apologize to all my colleagues and to you for saying those words. It was not a nice thing to say, and I ask your forgiveness, and I look forward to seeing this video on Tamarac Talk and somewhere else online. Thank you.
Thank you. So are there any other comments before I go back to consensus? No
I do.
comments? Are you presenting or a comment?
I would like comment.
Okay, go ahead and comment.
Commissioner Bolton raised the question about the email. On the email, he's sending an email directly to me, which may or may not, but the perception is, according to our city attorney, if an item may come before us to vote on it, do not copy ourselves. My response to Commissioner Bolton was, please do not copy me on any emails. Thank you for your cooperation. That was all. So I just wanted to clarify that for the record. Jim, Commissioner Bolton also raised a question where he said that you cannot hear him saying it, even though he is taking responsibility, and I really appreciate Commissioner Bolton doing this, and I expect that all of us do the same. But you can clearly hear it if you put it loud enough.
Okay.
That's up to you, Mayor.
I would, thank you for giving me the option. I think that the item is understood at this point and not needed to be replayed. And the commissioner has offered an apology. So Commissioner Bolton, I see your light is lit. You wish to?
Yes, Madam Mayor. We know that I've been here for some time, and quite the commissioner's senior, where this is concerned. I would never break city laws. As a matter of fact, Ms. Calloway is here. The email was directed to the city manager, copied to Ms. Calloway, and copied to Commissioner Villalobos. No email was ever directed to Commissioner Villalobos. And as a matter of fact, the city attorney can opine that if a sunshine law is only violated when a item is foreseeably coming before the city commission, and where two people communicate. And so by just copying another commissioner as an FYI for something that is going on in their community is the regular course of our business. It happens all the time. And the commissioner does not have to respond. And if that item was coming up on the city commission, it would only be a violation of sunshine law if we communicated about the item. So the email was not directed to Commissioner Villalobos. It was directed to the city manager, as our charter rightfully explains. But that is beside the point. The point is that I did call the mayor a monster. In the moment, I was feeling a lot of emotions. I should not have said it. I take full responsibility for my actions, and it will not happen again.
Thank you, Commissioner Bolton. Commissioner Villalobos, if this is to go back on regarding that
It's just
item,
for a point of clarification. The email to me copied city managers, city attorney, Ms. Maxine, Ms. Elion, and it does say Commissioner Villalobos on the to line. Just want that for the record.
Okay, thank you. So before we digress, because that's not where we want to go, everybody in this commission has their own feelings of certain things when it comes to whether we receive text from the city manager or our public information officer, whether there's emergencies going on in the city, or whether we receive emails and how we want to have certain information sent to us. These are what makes us comfortable that there's no unintentional exchange. And so obviously there is showing that Commissioner Villalobos would prefer not to be included on that and receive information from senior staff for anything that he might need to know. So, and I'm sure he appreciates Commissioner Bolton's working to help one of our residents in his community. I will accept your apology, Commissioner Bolton, and know that it was not done for whether or not it will appear in Tamarac Talk or any other online publication that you are possibly referring to. And so everyone's heard me say this before. We sign an oath the day we show up and we become an elected officer, saying that we will abide by the Constitution, the state constitution, our city ordinances, and we will be proper and ethical and responsible. So while I will ask for consensus, we shouldn't be needing to do these things. We should just be. And we will look to today being April 13th and saying that today we will turn a new leaf, I hope, for our city and for our residents and business purposes. So you have my consent for consensus, and I will go back down the line as I originally started to. Commissioner Bolton, consensus.
Yes.
Commissioner Placco,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Gellin,
Consensus on what?
that we will continue to abide, well, we will be civil and abide by our city's ordinances, our county's ethics rules, our city's ethics rules, our state and federal constitutions, to be civil to one another.
I'm already doing that, so I don't need to agree to some kind of consensus. It's in our code. We're supposed to abide by it, and that's what I do.
So the answer is no, but thank you very much, Commissioner Villalobos.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So you primarily have consensus, and this item is now completed.